Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is set to end the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga itself by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one great thing about this movie so far is that we do know that J.J. Abrams is set to introduce over 8 new characters in this film, which may or may not be a good or a bad thing. We'll have to wait and see. We do know that there is a lot of concern by a lot of fans out there on whether or not these new characters are going to take away the screen time of Kylo Ren, Rey, Luke, Leia, Lando, you name it, just as examples. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for the Knights of Ren, Kylo Ren, and other elements of the Star Wars franchise. Now, specifically, it's described that one of the scenes that were shot during the month of January included both Adam Driver and the male actors in their 20s, and this is where things begin to get very intriguing. Now, a description of Kylo Ren sitting on his throne in his throne room, where it's described that the Knights of Ren exit an opening elevator, as is described they report to Kylo Ren for the first time in roughly 1 year. It said that one of the Knights asks about the whereabouts of Supreme Leader Snoke, where Kylo states that he is now the Supreme Leader and that Snoke was murdered by a Jedi named Rey. The next describes a Knight of Ren coming forward and kneeling before Kylo Ren. It's described that this is the lead Knight of Ren who wears a trench coat-like outfit with a hood over his head. It's described that the Knight of Ren delivers a device to Kylo that is said to be a device that was taken by one of the Dark Acolytes from the Beyond that is the key to the origins of the dark side and the Force. It said that this is a device in the shape of a hexagon and glows in a red hue that is said to also have a link to a new villain in Episode 9. This device is also said to contain a certain power that will tell a certain truth about the origins of the Force, and that was discovered by the lead Knight of Ren. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that the Knights of Ren are going to be very prominent in this movie. They're not going to be a mere cameo or have one scene or two here and there. They are going to be a big part of Episode 9, and especially of the second phase of the marketing of this movie in the forms of posters and images, you name it. So what I like so much about the Knights of Ren in this particular sequence is that it does create quite a conflict between both Kylo Ren and the Knights, where they're wondering about what happened to Supreme Leader Snoke, and Kylo literally has to lie and make up exactly, what happened to Snoke, that he was actually killed by Rey, as he told General Hux in The Last Jedi. But what really intrigues me the most is this device that the Knights of Ren stole from the Beyond from a Dark Acolyte, which may or may not be the new villain in Episode 9, the exact Dark Acolyte. They stole this device that actually holds and is the key to the origins of the dark side and the Force entirely, that they present to Kylo Ren, where Kylo is actually able to use this device and is going to be a part of the evolving plot device in Episode 9, also known as the MacGuffin. So we do know that there are going to be multiple pieces in this movie from start to finish that change, that will serve as the MacGuffin in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, which is a plot device that moves the characters forward throughout the entire story. So what's really intriguing to me is that the Knights of Ren are actually said to be a group of characters that return from this place called the Beyond, 1 year after the events of The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. So that's a real long time that the Knights of Ren have been away, and that Kylo Ren hasn't seen them. So in the opening sequence of Episode 9, that's the very first time that Kylo Ren sees the Knights again. And that's exactly where, the Knights of Ren see this whole different world of the First Order. Snoke is no longer leading, Rey is now growing as a Jedi, and the conflict between both the First Order and the Resistance is rising. Now, that's the interesting angle of Star Wars Episode 9, is that the Knights of Ren are really going to be used as a group of characters by J.J. Abrams that will be delivering all these different revelations about the Beyond and Dark Acolyte, or multiple Dark Acolytes for all we know. We do know that one of the new villains in this movie is indeed a Dark Acolyte, and that really brings me to question, this device that they stole from a Dark Acolyte in the Beyond, is it the same exact Dark Acolyte that we talked about a couple of days ago, being the main villain in Star Wars Episode 9? That's a huge question open on the table for discussion. So like I say, we do know that J.J. Abrams really wants to bring things great to the table here for the Knights, Kylo Ren, and a whole lot more that's really going to make us view The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi in a totally different way. So one great thing about this lead Knight of Ren, by the way, this lead Knight of Ren is the actual individual that stole this device from the Beyond and from one of the Dark Acolytes, is described to be a hexagonal object that glows in a red hue, that is connected to the origins of the Force and the dark side and everything in general. Now, this sounds like that they are going something around the lines of, Marvel, going down the Marvel route, where they're focusing on one object as a plot device that moves the characters forward. Very interesting angle to Star Wars. It's just a matter of how it's going to be written and how it's going to be executed on the big screen and whether or not it's actually going to work. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.